So I think there was a greater sense of awareness around this election, at least, particularly from voters. Where we went wrong as media, mainstream and locally, is there wasn't enough voter education. Political writers tend to assume that readers know everything. So we left readers quite misinformed and underinformed about each other and how municipalities work, etc. Other things that were missing, I think we didn't put enough effort into multimedia around the elections. I appreciated media organizations who worked with maps and were able to make those maps rich. So that would be great to see a bit more of the next time.
You know, there were some fantastic apps that came out for the elections because I think this one was such a meaningful one in our history, in our society. Times Live had an app, News 24 had an app, there was the electoral app itself. And in many ways, they were kind of the same tool. They all operated and functioned in the same way. They gave out the same information. And my sense was, while they were all useful, would it not have made sense to pool resources to have one app, and then to have the people who were dedicated to that service working on more in-depth coverage, more in-depth reporting on under-resourced areas, on places that don't often get a lot of news coverage, to find out what the sense was on the ground, as opposed to kind of just doing the same job 3 times over. And I think that applies to a lot of the news we do. So yeah, maybe an interesting kind of look at how we kind of, I don't know, our own worst enemy in that regard, where we always lament the fact that we don't have enough resources to do long form or in-depth or true multimedia stories. And maybe it's because we're kind of reinventing the wheel over and over again with the tools that we are producing in order to be the best, the first, the most technologically savvy, when actually it's kind of all the same thing. And I'll probably get a lot of heat for that, but personal opinion.
Okay, so as the SABC, we're mandated to cover elections very, very specifically. We have to give real-time results. We have to provide results as they happen, give context to those results, so make people understand the background surrounding those results. We have to provide analysis for those results. So to put it in place, to put it in location. We also are supposed to do that in all the different languages. So elections for the SABC is a massive, massive project, national project, and we have teams from all over the country covering it, both at local level, but also from sort of the national perspective as well. The one interesting thing that we did this year was we worked across platforms. So, for example, television had, for the first time, touch screens where they could access infographics, they could access digital content directly on the SABC television sets, which made for a whole new dimension, or gave a whole new dimension to the television production as well.